Go.
Hi, everyone. This is Becky Ishii, and I'm so excited that we're starting this series. So today is Sunday, June the 5th, I think, and this is our second session. We had an initial introduction session 2 weeks ago for our Rally to Director, because we want to help anyone become a director that wants to be a director, and especially by July 1st National Conference, if that's what you want to do. So that's our intent of this program. And Terry Newberry and I are sharing the program together. Terry waves, so I know, Terry.
Thanks.
And so we're going to be sharing the program together. Last time we were together, we asked you to do a couple challenges. So first off, we asked you to get 6 to 8 June shows booked. And we were posting those on the Facebook group page. I know some of you did, and some didn't, and some did more. And we really want you to keep adding to that booking post all of the shows that you add for June, even if you add one tonight or tomorrow or whatever it is. So as they go, we really want to see that continuing to increase in shows. And maybe you have a show this week and you get bookings for June from there. Please add those to the group. Okay, the second thing we asked you to do was 5 customer care contacts or customer contacts each day. Pick 5 days out of the week and make at least 5 contacts 5 of those days. And we asked you to keep a spiral notebook. So the best, I think the easiest way is to have 1 page per day and just list your person you called, their phone number, the reason, and if they're totally done and they're a definite no, then you mark them off. If they're not and they're called back, you don't mark them off, but you keep adding a page a day so that then you can go back a couple weeks later, and that way you're not calling the same people over and over and over. We also asked you to look at PC University and take one of the courses, to have a phone appointment with your director, which, by the way, it's your job to get with your director. It's really important. We want you to take ownership over this promotion to directorship. Now, I see a lot of directors on the call, and hopefully the consultants that couldn't make the call live are listening. But here's the thing. We can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself. So we need you to reach out to your director and say, hey, I want to have a call. That's all you need to do. And that's what we encourage you to do, because this is your promotion and your plan. And but we're here for you, all right? And then we also asked you to complete the action idea sheets. There is one. It's in the files of the Facebook group if you haven't pulled that off yet. I know I got several of mine right away after the last call from my participants, and I want to encourage you to do that. Again, this is not about us, begging for homework and things. We want you to want this, and we'll support you every step of the way that we can. So I'd love to start out with, having some time for you guys to share maybe what you did. What did you find that you got done since that call? What helped you from the call, or what tasks have you completed and done, or what have you learned? Anything you want to share since the last call, that would be wonderful. Let's hear from several people.
I'm willing to say what I've come across.
Great.
First of all, I'm excited. I have 9 shows in June. Never had 9 shows ever, but in a month. And most of it's coming from my 5 contacts a day. And sticking with that. Basically, and I'm following up on a lot of my guests. I was following up on my hosts, and I'm doing that as well. But I'm finding that I'm having better success with my guests. It's working for me. I'm not going to change something that's not working for me. That is working for me.
Congratulations. That is awesome. Let's give it up for Sherry. Great job.
Thank you.
Everybody clapping for you. Great
Thank
job.
you.
And do you have a little notebook too that you're keeping track of those contacts, or how are you keeping?
I got the notebooks.
It's simple, 79 cents, or in California where you are, it's probably more than 79 cents. But.
Yeah, but that's okay, And I told Tammy, my director, I told her that for some reason, and I really know the reason, but I buy a lot of green ones.
Oh, there you go.
Green stands for money.
That's right. Growing. Okay, who else can share something that you've done or something that's worked from since the last time we were together?
I'm Angie from Ohio, and I added a new consultant to my team. And then one of my consultants who's trying to fast track to director added 2 new consultants to her team. So that was exciting for her.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Woo. Angie, were those from contacts or how did they come about?
One of them was from a contact from a girl that I met at a party, and she was interested, and we had kind of talked a little bit, and she said she was going to sign up when she got back home from vacation, and she actually followed through and did it on her own without me entering the conversation. And then the other 2 were contacts that my consultant knew from a previous relationship that she kind of reached out to. So
That's fabulous. Congratulations.
thank you.
I'm so excited for all of you. And hopefully you have the training binder ready to go from your recruiter and director. And if not, we can hook you up with that. So, okay, one more. Someone want to share something that you've done since the last call?
Becky,
Yes.
it's Heather. I know I told you that the night we did our booking boot camp thing, I got to thinking about one of these girls that I had gone to a concert with on Thursday, and she's the daughter of a friend of mine, and she was talking about how she really wanted to learn to cook and that kind of stuff, and it just, at that point in time, it just didn't click. And then all of a sudden I thought, well, shoot, I should just reach out to her and see what she thinks. So I sent her an email or a Facebook message and said, you had talked about wanting to learn how to cook. Do you think you might want to give Pampered Chef a try and or have a party? And she said, yeah, I might want to do both. So we set up her show. We've already got her show booked, and I think she's going to go ahead and sign. So
Yay! Everybody.
that, you hear it, but sometimes it just doesn't hit you until afterward, So it worked out pretty good.
I'm so happy. So there, you'll probably remember next time right away, right?
Yeah.
But see, that's that thing. Remember, we talked about the whole cycle of improvement. Remember, your attitude will drive, the I can do this, I know I can, and I have the knowledge, and now I need to practice it. And you practiced it, right?
Right.
And so as you keep practicing it, you'll get, and just go through the motions, but with a good heart, and then you'll get stronger and stronger at that skill. So good job. Okay, in an effort to keep this, meeting to 30 minutes or less, I'm getting all kinds of screen views here. What I want to do is go ahead and start with the program tonight. So tonight's topics are going to be consistency, the importance of that, and it's all about relationships. So we're going to try to cover those 2 topics. And Terry, how long have we been recording? We got a little bit of a late start because of things, and I'm just trying to keep track of the time now. Do you know?
No, I don't know. I can see that we're recording, but I don't know what time we started. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to do my best here to stay on track.
It's been about 7 minutes.
7? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so with consistency, here's what I want to talk about tonight. We've been talking about, what we really want is 6 to 8 shows in June, because we figure if you're doing 2 shows a week, that's consistency. But the thing is, we talk about the end result, like that goal. And what I want to talk about tonight is what's going to get you to those 6 to 8 shows a month, those 2 to 3 shows a week. Now, how do you get there is by consistently, on a daily, weekly basis, completing the tasks, the little things. See, the bookings and the directorship are the end result of all the little things that you do along the way. So that's why it's really important when we talk about the 5 contacts, 5 days a week. That's one of those consistent little things that when you do that, that's going to add up to the bookings and the recruits. So I can't stress enough about how that consistency of the little tasks is so important. And so you might think, well, I don't need a notebook. Okay, maybe you don't. Maybe you need cards, or maybe you have it electronic in your phone. But however it is, the 5 contacts a day, 5 days a week is super important to get to the 2 shows a week, 2 to 3, and to get to those recruits that you want. So what I want to ask you is, over the summer, we talked last time, Terry shared some ideas about work hours, and this summer, I think in almost every state, school has either ended or ends this week. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about some summer hours and finding the time to work. So Terry talked last time about what time of day works for you. Is it morning, or is it afternoon, or is it evening? Oops, we hear some background noise with a phone ringing, so if you mute your line, then we won't hear that. We'll get a clear recording, so thank you. You guys were on that pretty quick. So I want you to think about what time of day works for you, morning, afternoon, or evening. And also, if you're working another job, how will you fit this in? Because trust me, we have plenty that work both jobs. So what I suggest for those that are working another full-time job is that you use the power hour concept at lunchtime, okay? Now, here's the thing. Whether you're at home or you're working another job, it's all about sticking to it daily. Because here's the thing. Leaders do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like it, okay? Because here's the thing, I can attest there are plenty of times that I don't feel like doing that or whatever it is, whatever that is, but I know it needs to be done. And so, you know, you've heard those other proverbs and things of, you know, dance as though nobody's looking, okay? Work as though nobody's looking, you know? What would you do? Would you do the same thing in front of a group of people as you're doing when you're off by yourself if you were trying to show somebody how to work this business? Because you're the one that benefits. So whether somebody's looking or not, you want to work to the best of your ability. So here's the thing. You can get a lot done in an hour. Trust me. I know it will be 25 years this fall for me, but I don't forget how I worked the business from day one. Well, I say day one, but really I wasted about the first 9 months. But when I started treating it like a business and I worked it from that day forward, I know how I did. There were plenty of nights I didn't have shows on my calendar, but Bob would take care of Caitlin for about an hour, hour and a half every night that I was home. And my phone was in the basement at a desk. And I would make myself go down and make those phone calls for that time frame. Whether I felt like it or not, my reward was to be able to come upstairs and do Caitlin's bedtime routine and then have the evening with Bob. So it was like 7 to 8:30 or 7 to 8 or whatever it was every night that I was home. Was I excited about it? No, because I'm a very shy person, but I made myself go do that. So I just want to encourage you to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. So those daily contacts or weekly contacts, uninterrupted work time is very important, as is uninterrupted family time. So when you are setting your time for your Pampered Chef work, it's important that it's in a quiet place or an uninterrupted place. You'll sometimes hear the story. There was an executive director, Sarah Philbin. She used to tell the story that she was on the phone in her office. She was on the phone with Doris. And she was working and talking, and she could see the kids coming down the hall at her while she was on the phone, and she didn't want to be interrupted. And she reached on her desk and took a handful of candy and threw it down the hall at them and closed the door so that she could finish her phone call. Now, do I recommend that? No, but that is like uninterrupted time. She needed that uninterrupted phone time there. So here's the thing for me. What would it take for you to have that? Sometimes it might mean leaving your home. Maybe it means going to a quiet place like well, not quiet, but a place where you're not interrupted by the household tasks, like a Starbucks, or maybe out even to a park. You know, a park is very good because you know, you can find a quiet place. And that would happen at lunch as well. So if you work a full-time job, can you guys still see me? Because I've totally lost a picture here.
Yes.
Yes.
I see you, but I don't see anything else.
You do or you don't see me?
Change to speaker view.
Huh. Well, I don't see any of you, but I'm going to keep going here, and then I'll try to figure it out. So a quiet park. If you work another job, here's the thing. Take a power hour, go to the park, pack your lunch, go to the park at lunch, because there won't be people listening to your phone calls, or wherever you can, a quiet place, a picnic table. You have your lunch already, and you can do your power hour for your business there. And that way it wouldn't be in the evening. Or if it were in the evening, then have that be your quiet time. But my whole point is to find your time that works and to find your place that works. You know, I used to, early on, I would get interrupted by laundry or a phone call or something with the kids, and I would feel like I was working a lot longer and harder than I really was, where I could get so much more done in an hour and a half. We call it PT 90 at the director level. It's 90 minutes of personal time. And we find that my other tip is that we're much more productive when we have a list going into our work time. So don't use some of the work time to create that list, but rather have a list ahead of time so that you can get right to work with your lists and tasks and things that you want to complete. Okay? The last thing I want to talk about, we're talking this June, we've developed this program to really work closely with you. Now it will be each week. It will be each Sunday at night for about 35 minutes or so. And so this is a short period of time. And I'm going to ask you to think of something that Rory Vaden calls short time, double time. And that means taking a short period of time and really trying to double up on what you're doing. So, for example, let's say you wanted 8 shows and 4 of them will be virtual and 2 will be catalog and 2 will be live. I'm going to really challenge you to double up on the number of live shows that you're doing this month, because what I found personally is, and those of you that know my story, I took 2 months and put 25 shows into 2 months. This was 24 years ago, and my business was never the same. Now, am I saying you have to go at that level? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is this short time of June, I want to encourage you to really step up your pace and focus, because we're here to lead you. Your directors are here supporting you. We'd love to be able to do it for you, but we can't. So we really want you to put yourself in the prime position to make that happen. So I want you to think about what you could double this month in this short 4 weeks, actually 3 more Sundays that we're together, and then June runs past that, to really make your business take a jump to the next level. Okay, Terry, I'm going to turn it back over to you and see if I can reconnect to this screen somehow. So,
Becky, go up to the top right corner, and where it says that you should see speaker view, or there should be another gallery view, I think.
I'm just seeing Zoom, and if they want me to sign up for free or my email address.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Okay, sorry about that. So thank you, Becky. Very good points around. We're going to totally change gears now. We're going to talk about something new and different. And what we're going to focus on is about relationships and the people that you're going to be working with. And we're going to talk about your host and potential host, but we're also going to talk about your growing team, because really all of you committed to be on this program because you wanted to grow a team and you want to become a director. So while your hosts are very important because that's where future business is, you also are going to be needing to hone your skills for working with people, both through shows as well as who want to join your team. So the first thing I want to mention to you is that you're going to have people who are going to have potential challenges or questions or concerns or obstacles that are in their way. And I have known some people, and maybe you have too, that even when they're very positive people, they are people that are get things done, but they kind of start out from the negative. So, for example, they would say, "Oh, I could never do that," or what else might they say? What were some of your objections?
I can't speak in front of people.
I could never speak in front of people. I know exactly what you mean. What else?
I don't have time.
I don't have time to do that. What about I don't cook? Have you ever heard that one? You must be kidding. I don't cook. Right? So lots of objections. But the thing is that collectively, all of us have either had that objection or we've heard it before. And so that means that we can anticipate it. And anticipating potential challenges and objections is half the battle. Because if you anticipate it, then you can anticipate how to answer it, right? And I want to start off this whole conversation by showing you something. I'm going to try screen sharing here. I want to show you two different little quotes that I have that I think you'll find will fit nicely with our theme here. So tell me if you can see this. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so see the two quotes there? The first one is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So have you ever had someone who just launched into everything that they know? They don't know anything about you. They don't know what you've done. They don't know what you've tried, what you haven't tried. They don't know what your personality is. They just want to tell you everything that they know, right? And so you really need to cultivate a relationship with people before you can really teach them anything, you know? So, and then I want you to look at the second quote. It's, before you're a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. Now, that quote is especially true for all of you in this group. And I want you to think about it on two different levels. So if you are a leader in this company, even if you're a leader in terms of sales, you still have to help to grow others. You still have to know why your hosts are hosting shows. You have to know how you can help other people by hosting shows and by attending a show. You have to make it be that your goal is for every host you have to get the most out of our host program. And that's where your knowledge and your expertise comes in with host coaching. She doesn't know what you know, right? Same thing with new consultants and consultants. They don't know what you know. As a leader, it's really up to you to find out what they want. So in fact, the saying, you can't, what is the saying? Now I've lost it. So you can't help but be successful when you help other people be successful, right? And I paraphrase that, I recognize it, but you know what I mean. So the fact is that when you help other people succeed, then you're successful. So it may in fact be your goal to earn Excellence Award. This is the first month of the Excellence Award program. And for next year, it may be your goal to earn it in sales. And so that feels on some level maybe like it's a selfish goal. Well, not really, because by earning it in sales, it means you're putting yourself in front of enough people that you're helping a host and guest with their solutions in their very own kitchens, right? And so that's the way to look at it. How can I be of service and have a servant mentality and help other people get what they want? The same thing if your goal is recruiting or promoting to director. How can I help them achieve what I've been able to achieve from this business? And so you always want to speak from your heart and anticipate what their needs would be, and in fact, how to help them overcome their own concerns that may be unfounded, or maybe you see something in them that they don't see in themselves yet, which is very common. I know that was certainly true of me as a new consultant. I know that Becky, if she said it once, she said it 15,000 times, when you become a director. And she would say, I remember the first time I was in the car with her and I didn't know her very well. And I was asking her about ordering a name tag. I used to order name tags and it had your level on it. And she said, oh, no, just order it with your name, not a level, because you're going to be promoting. And you're not going to stay at director very long. You're going to be an advanced director, and I don't have to buy a new name tag every time your level changes. So she believed in me before I believed in myself. And I'll never forget those words. I mean, that was 23 years ago. And I still carry it with me today. So you have to really believe in people. You have to have a relationship with people and help them overcome their own objections and their own weaknesses, frankly, things that they're concerned about. So let's talk about that. What are some that, this is just a different approach. Okay, so I'm going to start with a different approach. And that is whenever you are talking to a potential host or a potential consultant, it's really very much the same. I always ask first, so how could this benefit your family? And get them to thinking about what the positive reasons would be to join or to host a party. So a positive reason would be, I'd learn to be a better cook. I would have the tools I need to cook better meals. I would be better prepared for family mealtime. It would help me pay off a debt. It might be to pay a vacation. It might be to pay off tuition or any number of things. But find out what it is that would benefit that person, not why you started. Okay, it's all well and good to say the reason you started, and it may or may not have anything to do with them. I started because I had credit card debt I wanted to get out of. I may be talking to someone who, it's not about the money at all, right? So find out what it is that would be the best benefit to them. So tell me a little bit more about why you're interested in doing this. I'm really curious. Tell me about that. And then keep your mouth shut and let them talk, okay? And so then once you've written it down and had them verbalize it, had them say out loud so they hear themselves what the benefits would be to them and to their family. So this is just a really casual and really conversational way to find out what their obstacles are and their challenges are. So, Becky, I can hear that this would really benefit you, but I also feel like maybe something's holding you back. Is there something that's like preventing you from just starting today and just going ahead and ordering your kit?
Well, I've never sold anything before.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I can understand why that would be a concern. And if it makes you feel better, most of our consultants were not previously in sales. And one thing that I can promise you is there is a lot of information available to you. We're going to work closely one-on-one, and you can go online anytime you want to, 24/7 in your pajamas, after the kids are in bed. You can go online and you can look up just about any topic that you can imagine. And I promise you one thing, by the time you do your first party, you're going to feel prepared. I'm going to make sure of it. Does that help any?
Oh, just knowing I have a friend there to help me is great.
Oh, you bet. You can come with me to as many parties as you want. And you know what? You can put my phone number on speed dial. I'm there for you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So do you see what I did there? I tried to build a bridge that made it easy for Becky to know that she could always call me. And that is something that, I learned from the best. And that is, I knew that I could always call Becky. And I knew that, she was only a phone call or a text. Well, she was a phone call away back then. We didn't have text messaging. So, but I know now that's true, right? So a couple of questions that you can ask when you're talking to people so that you find out what their concerns are and you don't project your concerns on them. And that might be, what's holding you back? Tell me more about that. How about, so if we could address that one issue, so if we can absolutely, if that issue goes away, then would you be interested? So by asking that question, I'm actually encouraging her to think of other things that might be holding her back. And I think that a lot of consultants are concerned about that. They're afraid to do that because they're afraid to hear the objections, because they're afraid that that person, is going to then say no, when the reality of it is, when you know what their objections are, you can help them, work through them. And you can answer questions they might have, or you can prompt them to answer their own questions and overcome their own objections. If you don't know what's holding them back, then you can't help them get over it. And often when there are people sitting on a fence, you've heard that term, sitting on a fence, She's sitting on a fence. She can't make a decision. She says she might. Those things. It's because they have not yet voiced to you what their real concern is. And often when you ask people what their concerns are, you have to dig and you have to help them dig. A lot of times they can't even really tell you what's holding them back, or they're too embarrassed to tell you. It might actually just be fear, and they feel silly. Okay? So, and we don't want them to feel silly. We want to dig deep until they tell us what the real objection is. Okay? So we can help them overcome it. Somebody's got some noise going on.
There's a lot of background.
I think we found it. Okay. So, and now also notice that the really important thing to keep in mind is it's not about you, it's about them. It's not what you're doing to them, it's what you're doing for them. And frankly, you got to find out a lot about that person before you know how you can help them with this business or with hosting a party. It may be as simple as if you're talking to a host and they say, you know, nobody cooks in the summer. I really want to wait till the fall. I think fall is a better time of year. What if you were to help them realize that the reason people don't like cooking in the summer is because they don't know what to cook in the summer, and you have mealtime solutions for the summer, ways to keep the heat out of the kitchen, ways to get in and out of the kitchen faster, ways to eat healthy and take advantage of all the fruits and vegetables that are available at the farmer's market. And those things you can do by begging the objection and bringing them up before they bring it up. So at your shows, or when you are introducing the idea of hosting a summertime party, maybe you kick it off by saying, I am so excited about summer shows because in the summer, I love teaching my customers and hosts ways to keep the heat out of the kitchen. I love showing you how to capitalize on the great fruits and vegetables that are available at the farmer's market. I am so excited about summer shows. It is absolutely a fantastic time to host a party. So right there, you've eliminated some of the objections just by begging the objection and bringing it up before they do. And it helps to kind of calm their fears, okay? And then I think what you'll find is when you ask them, so what's holding you back? They're going to say, you know, well, I was kind of concerned. I mean, do you really think that this is a good time of year to host a party? And then you just, oh my gosh, I absolutely believe it is. And ask them, you know, if they have friends or family that are busy and that you know, feel like you could help by, you know, a little education at parties. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. I also want to just give a real quick plug before I turn it back over to Becky for National Conference. Who all here is registered for National Conference?
Me.
Oh, yay! And did everybody register for your workshops? Only we're not calling them workshops this year. What are we calling them?
Breakout session.
Breakout sessions. Breakout sessions. Is everybody registered for your breakout sessions?
Yes.
Yay! So good. Yay! And any of those of you who are not yet registered, I'm begging you, do it. It is just awesome and could be a true game changer in your business and frankly in your life. And I am not exaggerating about that. It is an opportunity to rub elbows with some really powerful people that are smart and have people smarts and are more than willing to share. I mean, it's a really, truly fantastic opportunity. So anyway, I hope everybody will seek us out and give hugs. But if you aren't yet registered, do that. Do it tonight. Put it on your to-do list. Okay, Becky.
Yay, thank you, Terry. Isn't Terry such an excellent trainer? So glad to have her sharing this. So it's awesome.
Thank you, Jerry.
Mhm. It'll be the best $250 registration that you spend to go to National Conference. It did change my business. The first time I went, that's when I came home and was doing all those shows. And make sure that you do a home office tour if you can. It's really great. You know,
And it's a write-off.
it is a write-off for sure. And Wednesday night, we'll be having a kind of a breakout session in the evening, and there is one for all of Nancy Jo Ryan's downline organization starting at 6:30. So I just want to make sure that you all know all of the opportunities that are available to you. And I know there are additional breakouts in the Thursday morning and something for first-time conference attendees around lunchtime on Thursday also. So I'm going to try to do this screen share real quick because here are some things that I want you to, well, did it show?
Yep, there it is. Well, yes, it's there.
So when you log in, this is my website when you would log in, and I want to make sure that when you click on join, which you all should be aware of because that's the idea behind this program, is that we're working on focusing on recruiting, because you should have your calendar full or filling it pretty close, and talk to your director if you need help with that. But you go into the join area and you have this whole Taste the Good Life. Now here's where someone would sign up to order their kit. Here's the information about what's going on right now. In June only, you get $200 in free product of your choice. Okay, so we get a bonus of $100 extra of Pampered Chef dollars when they start, when they, achieve their $12.50 in the first 30 days. And that's in addition to the 100 they would usually get. So I want to make sure you understand that. But here's the area that I wanted to mention to you. When you're digging into all the perks and you're talking to people, what you really want to, if you're doing an online or a phone interview, you could have them log on to your site right here. You could at the same time be logged in on your end, and you could say, when you look at all of those perks like rewards and flexibility and community and support, which of those speaks out to you the most? Which one is most important to you? Most people will probably say flexibility, so when I click on that, it flips around, okay, and there's a response to it. You get to determine your own schedule, you get to determine the number of hours you work a week, and you get to determine when you put those hours in, okay? So those are some things that this should help you so that you don't feel like you have to know everything, but that it's all right here, okay? And then when you look at these, your questions answered, there are all of these, when you click on them, it will take you, how do I earn money? It gives you all of the responses, okay? If you're looking for, here, I have a full-time job and can I still be a consultant? Well, that attaches to the flexibility one. So there it is. Yes, that's the best part about this business is it can work alongside. So this should give you a lot of responses. And then I'd also like for you to watch Ellington's little video here at the bottom. So I'm gonna, how do I get off screen share?
Go to where it says off screen share at the top. It's a red button.
Stop screen
Yep.
share. Oh, hi everyone. Okay, so so if you haven't done that, I really want, how many people knew all that was there? Okay, so could you spend some time on that? Would that be good for you to spend some time on and know for a phone
Yes.
interview?
Yes.
Hey, Becky, I have actually done that with a potential consultant, and we were on the telephone. We were not on a Zoom call, but I had her go to my website and pull it up, and I was looking at it on my computer at the same time she was looking at it on her computer, and it was great.
Yes, exactly. Right on a phone-to-phone interview. So I want you to really spend some time with that. And then there were a couple of other things. We really want to continue with the 5 contacts a day, 5 days a week. You pick your 5. That's never going to end. If you really want to grow a business, an organization, a business, that's a must. So keep doing that. And we want you to take 3 classes in PCU. Now, I assume that you all know where PCU is. If you don't, ask your director, please, and that would be part of that phone call, that you approach your director to schedule with them, okay? Because we do want you to have a call with your director, but it's your responsibility as the one wanting to promote to either text or call or say, hey, can we set up a call? I have so-and-so free, that kind of thing. And then we really would like for you to practice. So 3 PCU classes. Now, what should those be centered around? Well, what are our topics? Yes, thank you. Recruiting, okay? And if you need a bookings, maybe one of them could be bookings. But really to pick 3 PCU classes that fit for you, or videos or anything out of there of the resources, and spend a little time on hearing. It made a huge difference for me. You know, back then we didn't quite have 8-track tapes anymore, but we did have cassette tapes. And I played one of those every chance I had. So I'm asking you to go, spend a little time, listen to some of those. You only have a week now. We're going to talk again Sunday. So at least 3 PCU courses or some of the resource videos, audios, and then your 5 contacts a day for 5 days, and to spend time on your website like I showed you on under the join button, to just spend some time there. Everything that's going to get you to where you want to go, nothing that's extra or foo-foo. So any questions? Well, I think we're right at 30 minutes from when we started, actually at 31 or 2 minutes from when we started now. So any questions that we can answer for you? Are you excited?
I am.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay! Okay. So I did notice, I'm going to say one more thing. I did notice a lot of virtual shows for the shows being held, which is fine. Those are great. You can still recruit at virtual shows. We have a lot of people recruiting from those. It's going to, whether they're virtual or live, it's going to take your focus being on recruiting and booking. Okay. So whatever, as your focus goes, so goes the show. All right. Doesn't mean that you need to be over the top with it, but remember to give it the time and focus that you want with posts and things like that. If it's a virtual show or during the show, and again, you'll refer to PCU to get all of those words and tips. So, all right.
Becky, can I say one thing about the focus with recruiting? When you said that, it brought to mind that if your focus is on bookings, and the show is over and you do a full service checkout and you have 2 bookings, then you're going to tell your host, oh my gosh, I'm so excited there were 2 bookings tonight. So you'll get a half price item at both of those parties, and here's the dates. If your focus is on recruiting, then what you'll say is, oh my gosh, you had 2 bookings tonight. They're yours to start your own business. And because you know what, they're not your bookings until she says she doesn't want them. And it just, really strikes me that when my focus is on bookings, that's what I do. And when my focus is on recruiting, the other example is what I do. And when this year I've made my focus recruiting, and I've already recruited more people than I did all of last year when that wasn't my focus. So I just thought I would throw that in just as an example of the difference that focus can make.
Well, and I love it because your host is your number 1 prospect right from the beginning. I mean, she thinks enough of the products and of you to go ahead and work with you to have this show. So whether it's virtual or it's live, she already is your number 1 prospect. And it will be to your advantage to ask her early and often, because most people will say no the first 2, 3, 4 times that they're asked. I had some statistics here to read to you, but we've had quite a day, so I'm having trouble finding them. But it's so astonishing. I'll have them for you next time. But it's like when most people will say no the first 3 times, but it wasn't really a no. It's the first instinct. And it's the instinct without having all the information. And so that's why it's so important at the beginning to say, hey, this is great. We have this show booked. Have you ever thought about becoming a consultant? Because this could be your first show. And they'll say, oh, no, that's most likely what they'll say. And you say, that's okay. It's no problem. I'd love to help you have the best show possible. I just thought that if you were thinking this could be yours. No problem. What are we trying to get? What will be your first 3 big items that you pick for free? And roll right into it. Just pull it back off. But you'll ask again. I will ask again when she has some outside orders or a large group of people or anything. I'll say, I know I mentioned to you when we set this about becoming a consultant. Sure seems like you're having a lot of fun with those outside orders. Have you thought about it anymore? I'm going to acknowledge that I already did ask her, but now I'm seeing something else in her. So have you thought about it anymore? And then again, at the end, when I have the bookings, early and often, because it does put it, without pressure, it does put it into their forefront. So, okay. All right, you guys. Well, thank you, Terry. Wonderful job. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We'll talk next Sunday. Let's make it a great week, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Becky. Bye.
Bye.